Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. As you can see from the title of this video, all things are coming up Tisha from Love and Marriage Huntsville. I want to talk about whether or not she kind of got in Carlos King's ear about season 2 of Love and Marriage Detroit. And I also want to do one of my favorite types of content creating, and that is taking a look back at some of my more favorite seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville, particularly a scene when Tisha first portrayed herself for romantic love. Now, before we get into these stories, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. Then YouTube will recommend this video to more people who love discussing the various topics surrounding Love and Marriage Huntsville. And also, in this case, a little bit more reality TV. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I would definitely love to have you as one of the showstoppers. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on the soundbite is allowed for criticism. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, as you can see from these screenshots, I got these from Tisha's IG stories, her Instagram stories, where she says, "I can't wait to see my Alabama A&M University crew, Kimberly M. Dobine, on OWN TV." And then she shows a screenshot of Love and Marriage Detroit. That is the beginning of the trailer, which Carlos King dropped just today. Then on her next IG story, it shows her friend Kimberly in their confessional with Kimberly's husband, Marsau. Then in her next Instagram story, she shows Kimberly and Marsau, which looks like perhaps it may be a part of the opening theme. And Kimberly and Marsau, they are the newest couple to join the cast of Love and Marriage Detroit. Now, I find it to be highly coincidental that the wife of the newest couple joining Love and Marriage Detroit actually went to college with Tisha, and so I assume that they know each other. I imagine that Dustin Ross will interview Kimberly Dobine, and then she may speak on her connection with Tisha. The reason why I wanted to report this is because I've always felt like Carlos King really favors the Scotts, like the entire Scott family, Marsau, Maurice, their wives, and Wanda. I know that Wanda is Tisha's mom and not a Scott, but she does have that connection. So I can totally see Tisha making a suggestion to Carlos. "Oh, I know someone who lives in the Detroit area. We went to college together," and boom, they are on the show. But it would just speak to how he definitely favors them, and they have Carlos's ear for sure. Now, in terms of Love and Marriage Detroit, I know that Marsau Scott was featured in one of the episodes of season 1. I did not see that episode. I was checked out of the show by then, but I remember seeing him in previews. So we'll have to see if Tisha will film for an episode of season 2 of Love and Marriage Detroit. I kind of felt like Carlos King, he is not casting the show correctly. He is totally disconnected from the traditional culture of like Black professionals in Detroit. And what I mean by that is he does not have a more seasoned couple on the show, one where the husband is working for one of the big three, meaning one of the big three auto companies, such as Ford, Chrysler, or GM. And we do not have a couple where at least one of them works in the mortgage industry. So Detroit is known for having the auto plants and really a strong automotive presence in Detroit. And that is how a lot of Black families, the parents were able to send their kids to college. That was definitely our household where I grew up. My dad was an auto plant worker. And then some Blacks, you know, they are engineers in the automotive industry. He did not cast a couple that comes from that industry at all. And then two large mortgage companies are headquartered here in Detroit, and none of the couples are employed at one of those mortgage companies either. And that's going to be your millennials, your Gen Z, your older on the cups millennials. He does not have any of them on the cast of Love and Marriage Detroit, where they are working in the mortgage industry. Kimberly, Tisha's alleged friend, is a social media influencer. When I went to her Instagram page, that's what was said in her bio. So she makes the third wife on Love and Marriage Detroit that is a social media influencer. I'm not saying that that's not a prevalent way of making money here in the Detroit area, but that would be a newer form of income versus what we're used to. Like there are a couple of other Detroit bloggers like Jay Lee's Corner. I could totally see her if one of the couples worked in the mortgage industry or the automotive industry. She would say, yeah, that's the thing here in Detroit. In the automotive, that's how a lot of the older Gen X and the baby boomers, that's how they sent a lot of Black kids to college, became homeowners. They even bought homes, in suburbia. And, we also have the mortgage industry. And a lot of the millennials are doing really, really well working in downtown Detroit. But none of that is a thing on Love and Marriage Detroit. So it seems kind of like disconnected from what is actually a reality here. Now let's go ahead and move on to when Tisha betrayed herself. This is obviously from a throwback of an episode where Tisha was talking about re-entering the workplace, and she definitely wanted to have work-life balance, and she wanted to make sure that Marsau was not checked out of their marriage. So I'm going to go ahead and play the soundbite, and then I will come back with my commentary.
Because Tisha's not here for me, and Tisha's not doing that. And then some girl creep in. I do not want to end up like the host. I want us to grow together. I want you to listen. I want us to grow together. I mean, at the end of the day, I want to be a good wife to you. I want to be a good mother to my kids. And I want to be a good Tisha to Tisha.
Babe, I know that you want to have it all, but I think that it's a lot easier said than done.
I totally understand that. You just act like it can't be done. But hey, I'm not going to give up. I just got to push through it.
There we go. I don't want you to feel that you can get something without giving up something. Right now, you have a finite amount of time. You said, hey, listen, I need to spend more time on me doing some things that I want. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty about it, but you took that time from your husband and your family. Going to school, going to work, going to events, maybe you can prioritize some of that stuff.
I think that goes for both of us, Marsau.
Okay, Tisha.
I think maybe you should prioritize some things as well. What? Just like how you're focusing on your business, you also have to focus on our relationship.
Okay, so
you have to, okay. I'm not saying it's you or me, I'm saying it's both of us. Both of us need to put an effort into the relationship. It's not just
I feel
me.
like one of us is being a little selfish. I don't know why you think I just love working like this, and I don't. I do this because I have to.
It's not just all, I want to work, and I want you to take care of home and kids. It's like we have to do some fun things together.
I'm sorry. I'm at home more now than ever before. Tisha, you changed this. You realize that, right?
Okay, but Marsau, what is wrong with change?
Oh my God, Tisha.
What's wrong with asking for more out of life?
Then you're not asking for more out of life, okay? You're asking for more out of me again. And that's not a problem, but I feel like it should be a two-way street. When we got married, your last name was Letitia Moore. Right now, your name is Letitia Scott. Mm-hmm. You're not the same person.
I know that.
That's why people get married. So they can give up being single, and together we're one.
Once I got married to you, I gave up a lot of things. I had to give up my last name. I gave up, my internship that I had in California, stay here in Alabama, for love and for you. So it's not fair that you tell me you have to not be selfish, not spend so much time on you and focus on the family more.
Well, maybe you should just do that, babe. Maybe you should focus more time on you, and I'll take care of this family.
Okay, so I want to first talk about, Marceau bringing up when you got married, your maiden name was Moore, then you became a Scott, so you're not the same person. That's why people get married, to give up being single and you become one. So I can't stand it when people use scripture to try and manipulate the other person that they're speaking with. If you're going to say it all, if you're going to bring it up, say it all. The scripture also goes on to say, can two walk unless they agree? So you'd have to agree on things. It's not just going to be your way or the highway, Marceau. And just because she changed her last name to Scott and the two of you are married, you become one flesh. That does not mean that her heart's desires just vanish away into a vapor. She still has them, and she still has opinions and goals and thoughts. She doesn't become this robot that just does whatever you say or whatever command you give the robot, and then she just does it. That's not who she is either, Marceau. But Tisha, as we heard, she actually decided to reject an internship in California to be with Marceau. In my opinion, Marceau knew then that he could control Tisha to the point of her denying her goals and her heart's desires simply to be with him. Now, in my opinion, the 20s, when you are in your 20s, that is for getting educated. That is for building your resume by getting work experience. And ultimately, that is you learning the culture of the workplace, corporate America, including its racism, its sexism, if things go really dark and there's sexual harassment, everything that falls under that corporate America umbrella. And so when Tisha graduated college, she was in her prime, a young Black woman with no children but education. And she had an opportunity to leave home and move to California for just a few months for an internship. And she decided to turn it down to be with a guy that she had fallen in love with. When I was watching this scene today while working, I kind of had it on in the background. And when this scene happened, I said, oh my gosh, this would be a great conversation or topic to talk about. I remembered when Dustin Ross interviewed Tisha a few months ago, and the interview aired on Carlos King's YouTube channel. She talked about having a working opportunity, and one of her relatives told her, work will always be there, but you may not always have true love. This is true love. And I want to challenge that family member's advice to Tisha nearly 20 years ago. If it's true love, wouldn't Marceau have been able to wait on her a few months, especially if he knew that she was doing an internship in California, to gain work experience for her resume, to make her more competitive and marketable as a professional? Or was he so insecure of her degree and her ambitions that he wanted to try and distract her? And if I was Tisha's cousin, or if I was older than her and I was her aunt, I would have said, if it's true love, baby, he can wait on you a few months while you get this work experience. You'll be able to add this to your resume, and this is something that no one will be able to take away from you. And I believe that you'll have more respect for yourself, and he should respect you more for knowing that you did not get distracted from your goals. But that relative told her, this is true love. That job can wait. And I feel like that's a very dangerous mindset for women to have, because you could find yourself in Shirley Strawberry's shoes, where she may have thought to herself, oh, I'm in my 60s now. This could be my last chance at love. Let me ignore all the times he's been to jail and let me marry this guy and bring him around my daughter and my grandkids. So I feel like you should not plan around, oh, this guy may be the one. We may get married. This may be my last chance at love. I think that you should do your heart's desires and give yourself a chance. And remember that romantic love is an addition to your life. It is not the end all be all. But I thought that this was such a good conversation starter that I definitely wanted to make a video about it. And what I don't understand is that Marsau just continuously gave Tisha so much pushback in those first 2 seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville whenever she wanted to pursue a career in real estate. She felt like the kids were big enough where they could kind of occupy themselves, kind of help her out, but she mainly expected Marsau to help her out. And that was something that he did not want to do in the marriage. He wanted her to be the strict domestic, and he was the strict wage earner. But what do you all think? If you were in Tisha's shoes, fresh out of college, and you had an opportunity to intern in California, would you too turn it down to be with him? Or would you say, oh no, if he loves me, he can wait a few months while I get this work experience? If you have daughters, what advice do you tell them in regards to that balancing act between working on themselves and earning money and gaining independence and pursuing romantic love? I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video as it is a free way of supporting the channel. And please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit if you have not already done so. I am so thankful that we made it to the end of another work week. Just one more work day and we will be off for 2 days. I am so thankful. I'm glad that I did my walk earlier today. Soon the sun will be going down. But you know, I have gotten some fresh air, some vitamin D, and walked for about 45 minutes. So that felt great. And just remember, when you're watching your favorite YouTubers, grab your bottled water, get your water in, eat your fruit while you're laughing and being entertained. Then you're kind of, being entertained and getting some of your healthy habits in all at the same time. And be sure to set yourself up for a smooth morning, not a rush. Lay your clothes out tonight. Journal, pray, whatever gets things off of your mind, out of your body, and everything will be all right. I promise. And I will talk with you all very soon. Bye.